like to welcome to the program Certified Financial Planner Practitioner, Carolyn Nolan. Carolyn is a private wealth advisor with Ameriprise Financial Services in Winchester, Massachusetts. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thanks for having me, David.
Glad to have you here. So, as financial planners, you and I, of course, are working with clients and helping them kind of figure out this whole thing called financial planning, right? And I know one of the ways you approach it is the Cornerstones. I think it would be helpful to kind of walk through what that means and how people can envision what financial planning is about.
Sure. So when I use the term financial planning, and in all practices, all practitioners may use that term, but it may mean very different things. In our practice, we're subscribing to making sure that you always have a smart place to get money whenever you need it, for whatever you may need it for, irrespective of what's happening in the markets. So the things that we can't control.
Right.
So we're not going to just jump to investing, which oftentimes people will stop me and say, oh, you're a financial advisor, so what's the hot stock?
Right, right.
It's not just investing, but we're addressing what are your cash needs? How do we properly manage debt? Cornerstone number one. Number two, what are, from a protection side, how can we ensure that we're properly protected? On the taxes, not just doing your tax returns, but understand what are your tax strategies? And then lastly, how can we make sound investment choices?
Yeah, and I love how you make the point right up front here, which is so many people, people asking about hot stock tips or whatever it may be, but so many people confuse, and of course that's a lot what this show's about, is people confuse investing with financial. A lot of financial shows are about investing. Finance and investing, or financial planning and investing, totally different things. And we've got, part of our job, of course, is educating the person on that, because they just think, oh, well, and one of the reasons why I think that is people get excited about investing. Some of the other things you just mentioned, Carolyn, can we say it? They're boring. Okay? People
Not
don't
that
really,
exciting, yes.
Yeah, they don't really get all that, ooh, I'm so excited to talk about an emergency fund, right? They don't really
Can I buy insurance, please?
Yeah, can I please buy insurance? Yeah. So it's the sexiness and the excitement of investing that makes it dominate, but all the things you just talked about are as important, if not more important. What's the point of investing if you have no emergency fund?
That's exactly right. So again, when we think about you're trying to get to your goal, what is the most direct way I can get from where I am right now and where I know where I want to be in the future? And there's these other goals we don't even know that we have yet, but as they come up, how can we be more proactively prepared? Oh, and by the way, if something in your life unexpectedly comes up along that path, how can you be better prepared if we're proactively anticipating what will my future self say to me today that I could do to be best prepared for whatever may come?
Exactly. And that's, of course, what being a certified financial planner practitioner is about, right? So there are a lot of different advisors out there that work in different ways and have their skills and their value. But obviously, what makes us different is that focus on the proactive in the future.
Correct. And that holistic being, that we're not just, because it sounds like, if we get bored maybe sometimes talking about investments, or clients do, it's not like we're trying to fill in the gaps, but seriously, to really grow someone's net worth and their financial being, we have to think about these things. Yeah. And certified financial planners are held to we're held to a fiduciary standard. Right. And oftentimes that means that we're bringing up conversations and topics that the clients don't even necessarily want to talk about. They don't want to hear. But they understand that objectively we have their best interests, and we're required to, as CFPs, have their best interests in mind when making recommendations.
They expect us to focus on the investments, and we might be asking them about their estate planning, or we might be talking about who have you named as your power of attorney, all those other things that maybe don't fit under this investment category. So speak to the process. What should somebody expect when they work with a planner, the process that we're going to go through?
Great. So, and perhaps not all planners follow it this way, but I believe the best of the best. First, we're not even talking about your numbers. First, it's who are you?
Right.
What are your goals? What are your values? Tell me about your family. Tell me some stories of what you may have witnessed personally that excites you or that really scares you. So I want to understand, how do you tick and what's important to you? So when I'm that start to look at your numbers, I can try to have your lens when I'm looking at your financial picture. So first, it's understanding what are your dreams, what are your goals, what are your values.
Right.
Then we're going to gather information. That's a really not fun part of the process. I'd rather be really direct with that part. We're going from knowing nothing about our clients to trying to know everything about you personally, financially.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot for our clients, it's a lot for us, and we do it every day, all day.
Right.
But what's the bottom line is it's all important. If it wasn't important, we're not going to be asking the questions. So first, about you. Next, about your numbers. Next, we're going to start to analyze the financial plan picture. Every advisor works with their clients differently. I think the best of the best help our clients to understand not just the answer, but first taking them through the funnel of the process of I considered this, I considered that. If there's this inflation rate, there's that. So we're analyzing their financial plan picture to see where are we doing really well. Where's our green? Where's our yellow? Where's our red? Ooh, we should be really making sure we're addressing that. Yeah. And then lastly, we're making recommendations. I believe by the time we get to that point, our clients are pretty clear what we're probably going to recommend, but they have a way better picture of why, which ultimately leads to better implementation, execution, and stickiness to staying on track. And so from there, we track our progress, and the process repeats itself. The data gathering is a little easier in subsequent years, I promise.
All right, excellent overview. And I think the biggest thing that people are looking for is to understand the why, because there are, as you and I very well know, and I think a lot of consumers and our viewers are picking up and learning about people that are in financial work that are just pure salespeople, okay? And I think that the consumer, what's really interesting, they're learning about different credentials and what a certified financial planner is and all of that. But what people really expect in every relationship really is a fiduciary. And so when we can help them with the why, because I love that answer, then they start to say, okay, I get it now. And then the process can unfold. Because you're right, nobody really wants to go through all the tedious part. But if we can get them to understand why, then they become our active participants in the process.
That's exactly right. And that's where I believe the best client-advisor relationships, that they're partnerships, that it's not even a coach per se, but more of we're one big family and we have a common goal. So the best financial planning relationships with the clients as well, I believe stem with people that have common values, common goals, and it's not a right or wrong, but that's where I think you can really have a home run with a client-advisor relationship.
Yeah, and I think people are also looking for a very candid, I don't want you to tell me what I want to hear, even though they really do want to hear what they want to hear. They want people to be honest with them and to tell them the truth. Because again, there's plenty of people that will tell them whatever they want to hear. They need somebody to say, yes, you can retire, no, you can't, or this is what you need to do, that's what you need to do.
And that's where I believe even from the first meeting, forget the first meeting. Sometimes you can look up an advisor's website and get a pulse for their office culture, their personality, and not all advisors are for all clients. Yep. So that's where I think that's a great start. And then when you have that first meeting, I tell my clients, first, you may want to just pick with your gut, because perhaps you've already done the research. Does this person know their stuff? CFP, we'll sometimes use the term, there's a lot of blondes in our office, and we'll say CFP means don't let the blonde hair fool you. The CFPs know their stuff. But then it's a matter of finding a good fit in terms of personality. And not all advisors and clients are going to have the perfect fit, and that's okay. The good news is there's a lot of us, and we all work very differently with our clients.
Excellent. Well, good. Thanks for sharing, Carolyn. We appreciate you being here. Carolyn Nolan, thank you.
Well, thank you again for having me.
If you would like more information about the topics and our guests featured in this series, please visit our website at PlanStrongerTV.com. Also, if you have a question you would like David to answer, please send it to questions@PlanStrongerTV.com.